So welcome back to Great Adventure. I'm your host Mark Guido, and we are at the RV Experience, or RVX, which is a brand new RV industry trade show being held here in Salt Lake City. Brings together RV manufacturers, equipment suppliers, and dealers for a big exchange of everything that's new and exciting in the RV industry. So we'll go inside and take a look on this episode. Stay tuned. RVX isn't a consumer RV show. Staged by the RV Industry Association, this inaugural edition of RVX is already the RV industry's biggest trade event, celebrating innovation and helping to grow the RV consumer market. It brings the industry together in a venue where manufacturers and suppliers can unveil the latest RV products to their dealer and manufacturer partners, and provides the first spring opportunity for dealers to write new model orders and ensure that their lots remain full of products that consumers are looking for. RVX also provides learning opportunities about emerging consumer trends, growing consumer segments, and how through promoting new products and marketing to specific consumer groups, the RV industry can attract new customers to the RV lifestyle. The upbeat keynote presentation is emceed by Rutledge Wood from the U.S. edition of the Top Gear television series.
This is the Outdoor Adventurer.
Go on an adventure. Come on a road trip with me.
We're going to start our tour of RVX 2019 at the booth for Dometic, a supplier of key RV components. So we're here with Cassandra Teverbaugh with Dometic. Cassandra, thanks for coming on with Grand Adventure today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Tell me about what's, when we think of Dometic, most RVers, we think of toilets, fridges, and what have you. Tell me where does Dometic see itself going right now?
Well, right now we are really looking into innovation and becoming a more innovative company. We do have a lot of core markets that they're our bread and butter, but we are looking to go into other markets as well. And the way we're doing this is by actually going out and getting customer opinions and feedback. We are looking at the OEs, we're looking at aftermarket dealers, we're talking to end consumers. How did they use these products? What are they looking for in their products? How can we innovate and bring something to the market that makes mobile living easy? That's our motto. That's what we live by, and we want to make sure that we do what we can for the customer. And so our product management team specifically has been going out and camping with customers and living in RVs for an entire week. We don't get the opportunity to necessarily do that in everyday life, but we have taken the time to go talk to people, meet people, and really partner with people to understand what's needed in the market. Where can we improve things? Where can we make life easier for them? And that's what we're doing in order to improve products or bring new things to the market.
That's a really cool way to go about it.
It is. It's been fun.
And you've got some really innovative products here in the booth that you're going to show us today.
Yes, absolutely. Would you like to take a look at a few of them right now?
Absolutely. Let's go have a look.
All right, so I will show you one of our new refrigerators that we are launching into the market this year. It's currently available in Europe already, and one of the great things about our company is that it is a global company, and we are trying to bring products to the U.S. and share products that we make in the U.S. into Europe so we can share global platforms and have modularity. This new refrigerator is very unique because it gives the option to open from either side. So it's really nice for OEs because they can have less inventory because they only need one model as opposed to a right-hand model or a left-hand model. And the freezer is exactly the same, as you can see here. And it's really great for the end user as well. It just makes it more versatile. Okay. And here you can see this is one of our ranges. It's our new range for us. We make this here in the United States. This is a stainless steel 21-inch 3-burner cooktop and we have the glass door, and there is a light on the inside here as well, which are some of the new features that we have. We also have the igniter, the piezo igniter, to light the top. More cooking space than some of the other versions that we've had previously, and it has a more residential feel with the nicer grates. We have the SMEV sink here. What's unique about this sink is that it has a glass top, and you are able to actually use this as a prep surface, but then when you need to use the sink, you can just open up the sink top, and the spout has like a 90-degree angle which you can lift up and use, but then store back down when not in use to have a clean surface.
This new Dometic toilet is made of ceramic, not plastic, and has a no-contact electronic flush. You simply wave your hand in front of this control pad to either fill the bowl with water or to flush.
Opens from both directions, or for easy, convenient loading, you can pop the whole thing off.
So, on our blinds, we offer many different types. We have Venetian blinds, we have pleated blinds, we have honeycomb blinds, we have sky view blinds, all different types. This is a precision Venetian blind. This is actually a 25 millimeter white wood. That's also offered in aluminum or wood. We have different type of slats. We have a 2-inch slat or a 1-inch slat, and there's no cord used to pull it up and down like you typically would have. The cords that you see, these are actually what we call guide wires, and what that does is that holds it in place. So if it's mounted into a coach, it's not going to rattle around as you're driving. Typical opening for the blind. But we do a lot in this precision or balanced, what we call atmosphere, so that you can stop it anywhere you like just by the handle. Similar to what we call our motion. This is a motion blind that's on a spring. Very slim profile. If you have a very small recess for the mount it in, this is a good application for that. Just bring it down, lock it into place.
It's just and it does come with all the bracketry, so you don't have to try to figure out how to mount it. So this is the new Dometic slide-out kitchen, and this is the larger version. We also have a smaller version. This version slides out, I'll show you here, away from your RV. Imagine your sidewall would be over here and it would slide out. So then you can do prep on one side, you can do cooking on the other side. So maybe even 2 people could work on this unit as well. There's extra storage underneath here. And this is a prep station here. You've got your cutting board, your 3 burners, sink, a little bit more storage here. And then we also have some modular accessories. This accessory holder just clips right into the rail here, and you can put in different accessories. We've got a bottle opener and utensil holders. And then we also have a smaller version of this as well. It is about this big, and it slides out horizontally from the back of a unit or the side of a unit. It'd be great for vans or some smaller like travel pods or stuff like that. That's about it. It's available in Australia right now, being produced in Australia. We're looking to bring it to the US in Q3.
But perhaps the most exciting thing we saw in the booth is the Dometic IoT Multiplex System Solution, an expandable series of smart touchscreen controls for RV systems. Multiple screens may be added to control and predict lighting, climate, awnings, batteries, inverters, propane, and much more, all from multiple locations or from a mobile app. Now we're over here in the Winnebago booth, and we are speaking with Jamie Sorensen. Jamie is the Director of Specialty Vehicles Division for Winnebago.
Correct. Thanks, Mark.
And I understand we have a story here with this Forza behind us.
Yeah, yep. So this is our accessibility enhanced Forza. So we recently launched an all-accessible platform with 3 different brands. So we've got over here on our poster, you can't see it on your screen, but it's we've got the Intent as our entry level, an Adventurer as our mid-tier, and then the Forza that you see behind us is our high-end.
Understood. So we are going to do a tour of the Forza today.
Yep, absolutely.
And this ramp that I just took a look at, obviously that's the first key, is getting the accessibility into the vehicle.
Right. Yeah. So that's the wow factor when you walk up to the vehicle, is that you actually have the ability to get a wheelchair or a power chair up in the vehicle. So this wheelchair lift has a capacity of 800 pounds. So anything 800 pounds, whether it's a power chair, wheelchair, or if you just want to use it to move in groceries, absolutely. So this will lift up, go into the vehicle, and then it folds up out of the way. The door closes down. I can demonstrate the operation of it if you want.
That'd be terrific.
So the operation of the lift is really simple. The lift raises up to floor height. Once you get into floor height, the ramp folds down, and you can roll off the lift. Then once you're inside the vehicle, the lift stows into position. And then once the lift is stowed, you can close the roll-up door. And then we make sure that we paint the roll-up door to match the rest of the body so that it blends seamlessly in with the rest of the vehicle. We don't want it to look like it's an add-on to the vehicle. We want to make it look integral to the vehicle, which it is. So we've got lots of features that are built into the coach to make it more accessible for people with challenges with mobility when they're inside the vehicle. So we've widened a lot of things out. We've made things more adaptable for use. So one of the neat things that we've done is this extendable dinette. So the dinette slides out. I'm going to set this down. And now we have a dinette that you can roll a chair underneath. Okay, so then we move into the hallway area, and the hallway we widen out so that we've got about 35 inches of clearance on the Forza. This has got our widest hallway that we offer. We also move some of the controls, so the controls for the lighting, for the heating system would typically be located up here at eye level when you're standing. We relocate it down about 12 inches so that if you're seated or still in a standing position, you can have control of those. And then that opens up into our huge shower. So we've opened up the shower area. You can roll in. You're able to transfer on and off the commode. Plenty of room for a shower chair. We have extra material behind the walls if you need to add a flip-down seat for the shower. Plus we've got areas inside the bathroom where we can add more grab rails. So there's more structure behind the walls than what you see typically. So then we get into the bedroom area, and the things that we do differently in the 34T Forza than what you find in a standard one. We move the bed all the way over to the driver's side, which opens up this area right here so that you're able to roll a wheelchair through. So that once you get in here with the wheelchair, you can transfer in and out of your chair to the bed. What you don't really notice about the bed is it's about 4 inches lower than our standard bed, so it's a little bit easier to transfer in and out of.
Well, thanks, Jamie, for taking us on a tour through that Forza. That's going to serve a very unique market.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Mark. I really appreciate you coming by. It's one of those things that we've recognized as definitely an area that we need to focus on as an industry. And we've been doing accessible coaches for almost 40 years, but we've been doing them on a custom basis. So we work directly with the customers in the past to make sure that we're meeting their specific needs and then creating a coach just for them. But that's a 6 to 12 month process depending on what type of customization we're doing. So we leveraged all those years of building these coaches into what are the features and functions that we need to do inside of a coach to meet the needs so that we can put these coaches on dealers' lots so people can come and actually touch, feel, try them out, figure out what works for them. And what we discovered through that is there's a good population out there that they're looking for a solution to go travel because they're on some limited time. A good case in point would be we've got a dealer who has one of our vehicles in their rental fleet. They were approached by a couple who they were just the wife was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Very short amount of time to live. They booked the RV and they're off, doing their adventure. not anywhere near enough time to create a custom vehicle
Sure.
for them to go do this. So we're finding all kinds of ways to satisfy customers' needs.
Well, that's fantastic, and I imagine you have 40 years of customer feedback on what works and what doesn't, that you can incorporate into a production coach like this.
Exactly. You know, it's not very often when you can do a new product launch and have 40 years of voice of customer built into, you know, your product that you've already been doing for so long. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Well, thank you very much, Jamie. That was a fascinating glimpse at what Winnebago's doing right now.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate it.
After spending more time walking the show floor, we sat down with the president of KOA to learn about the campground of the future. So we're here right now with Toby ORourke, who's the president and CEO of KOA.
That's good. Hello, how are you?
Hi,
Thanks
doing
for
well.
being here.
Now, your display here talks all about the campground of the future. Can you explain to me what that initiative is from KOA?
Yeah, absolutely. So KOA, we're always trying to modernize our camping experience across the board, but we stepped back and really tried to think a little more future forward thinking. So we looked at the year 2030 and trying to see, you know, based off what we know about modern campground design, how is that going to advance, taking into account how technology is going to change, what we know about campers' desires and habits and trends that we do through our research and how that's going to change. And that has led us to develop these concepts that we're displaying this week here at the RVX show.
So explain to our viewers, what are these concepts? Where do you see a KOA going in the year 2030?
Well, for one of the most unique ways that the unique way that we're displaying this is that we're looking across different landscapes. So just so as people at home are logging in, you're going to see something in forest, you can see something in coastal. We're looking at campground options in mountains, we're looking at campground options in the desert, and also playing with urban landscapes. So across all of these 5 different models, we're exploring different things, such as, to your question, environmentalism. We know that environmentalism will continue to be a concern, so we're looking at how campgrounds in the future will reduce the carbon footprint. We're looking at a lot of low impact sites, for example. We're also looking at how we integrate solar across the board, whether that be you know, solar charging stations, solar pedestals, to even more robust shade coverings that cover a set of RVs. We already actually have one of those in operation at Tucson, and we're starting to think about how that can evolve.
And I think from what I've seen looking around the booth, it looks like there's already a website set up where people can take a look at these mock-ups.
Yes, so you can go to campthefuture.com. Within campthefuture.com, you can get to all of those 5 different landscapes I mentioned, and you can view them. We've got a collection of imagery on the site. You can actually go into the 3D models, and if you have virtual reality goggles like Oculus goggles or Google Cardboard, you can put those on and you can launch it right in your browser and then really immerse yourself in the 360 experience.
Now, one thing I saw on the displays is showing almost like a virtual tour of site to site, so people can get a really good idea of what they're booking at the time that they make the reservation. Is that something that hopefully will show up before 2030?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have one of our models is exploring the idea of how you would book campgrounds in the future, and what we're doing is you actually can, to your point, you can look 360 across the campground. That technology already exists, and the concept is that you'd be to layer in virtual reality to actually see the calendar and the availability for that particular site and book it right there. So campgroundviews.com has mocked up this concept, and they're starting to develop that. We integrated it in one of our models to give people something to think about what's coming, and I think that's going to be here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's usually kind of tough to pick a site when it's a thumbnail about yay big by yay big. And
yeah. I do like our model. You can actually step in and get the experience as if you're camping right on that site, or right in that RV site. We've got tree houses, we've got glamping tents. You can really get a feel of the whole 360 experience.
So where else is KOA going? What are the short-term initiatives for the company right now?
Right now, we are in the process of just wrapping up a big initiative we've been working on for a few years to segment all of our parks into 3 different categories. So we have, just to put it in perspective, 518 parks across the U.S. and Canada, service all type of camping, whether that's tenting, RVing, or cabin campers. And we've been trying to segment that large number of campgrounds by experience that can be found on the campgrounds. So we've got overnight parks, we call KOA journeys, KOA holidays. You know, we see the introduction of different types of RV sites with patios. We have a patio experience defined, cabins, and a lot more recreation. And then we have KOA resorts. We have about 20 KOA resorts right now, which are truly, you know, all in destination locations, don't have to leave the campground if you don't want to. So that's a big initiative for us we're wrapping up. We're also, I mentioned the KOA patio, we're really doubling down on that initiative, trying to get as many great patio sites. We think camping is all about the outdoor experience. You know, you bring the RV manufacturers deliver that indoor experience, and we're here to deliver the outdoor experience. And so we're trying to get more patios across our system as well.
Tell me a little bit more about what you guys envision as the patios. In other words, we're not just talking about a picnic table sitting there, obviously.
No, right. We have certain dimensions in square footage for each of our patio sites. There's a variety of types you're going to see. It could be stamped concrete, could be rock work. We have requirements what needs to be in our patio site. So, for example, you have to have grills, you have to have fire ring, you have to have 2 seating areas with backed chairs. There's lots of nuances in what makes a KOA patio, but we think all of that stuff combined makes a really nice outdoor experience.
So just to summarize, the 3 categories: the journey are more for the overnight stays, the resort is the full-on resort experience, and then in between we have, what was that third one?
We call them KOA holidays, and that's the majority of our system. If you think about traditional private RV park with activities and amenities, lots of different ways to camp, that's probably your KOA holiday that's nearby.
I think probably the biggest complaint that we hear about any RV park is the Wi-Fi. What are you guys doing to help out those of us who depend on working on the road?
Yes, Wi-Fi is a big initiative for us, for sure. All of those 3 categories I just mentioned, we actually have 95% Wi-Fi coverage requirements in order for them to hang that new sign for the segment that they've joined. So our parks are heavily investing in getting Wi-Fi to all aspects of their park, and that's a huge initiative for us at the corporate level and helping our franchisees do that.
And what about throughput rates, not just the coverage?
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah. We could say we have it, but it has to be good. I think that that's probably the biggest challenge that any campground owner has right now.
Okay.
You know, public side, private side, what have you, is getting connectivity. We do a big research study every year called the North American Camper Report, and overwhelmingly every year we're seeing the desire for Wi-Fi and the ability to allow people to work on the road or just, you know, stream and be entertained is increasing importance, and that's not going to go away. So we understand that that's something that everyone has to invest in.
Excellent. Well, Toby, anything else you'd like to share from KOA?
Well, we're really excited. We're getting ready. You know, this is a great event. It's getting ready to kick off the camping season. I think the timing's perfect, and we just encourage people to visit KOA.com, learn more about us, and hopefully we can see you this summer. It'd be great.
Look forward to it. Thank you very much, Toby.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll be back next week with part 2 of Grand Adventure from the RV Experience, including a novel onboard RV weighing system, and perhaps the coolest concept travel trailer ever. So if you're not yet one of our Grand Adventurers, hit that subscribe button down there in the lower right corner right now and ring that notification bell. If you like this video, we'd love to get a thumbs up from you. We'd be honored if you share a Grand Adventure with your friends and family, and we, as always, would love to hear from you in the comment section below this video. Until next week, back here at RVX, please remember life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.